I would like to elaborate a little bit of the post that I posted recently. I wrote about international interracial relationships, and I realized that there are certain things that we take as international, and there are certain things that we also take as local, maybe continental. Because if you look at how Europe works, and if you look at how America works, or Australia, New Zealand, all these countries, and Africa, of course, looking at Asia, there are certain things that we may have experienced as human beings, and we are taught, especially me as an African, I'm taught to look at life as in a positive way, and then when you experience something negative, then it means you have to take all the toxic feelings out of your body. Knowing my African culture, as I grew up in the 80s and 90s, I remember that my family had always these family issues to discuss about. At first, I used to find that boring, or I used to find that not nice, because I was like, why would we always keep on discussing about things that went wrong? But I realized that I have to appreciate that so much, because it helped me as a child to learn to quickly take off the things that can make me sad, things that can make me feel lonely, things that can make me feel, the most things that are toxic in your body. Because if you can't take that out of your system, it means the possibilities that you can get sick with that. You can gain too much weight with that. You can also look negatively in your life. So, because of taking all these toxic feelings out of my body, I've been taken now to the higher me, where I realize that if I don't manage to speak out and say things that are hurting my feelings, no one else will do. And I'm also in a position of course, of speaking for others that are not possibly in the situation of managing to say this. So which means as well that when you realize that there's a little bit freedom that you have to say something, not everybody has got the same freedom, but if you say something or you write something, you're in a position to do so. You can say something that can help someone out there, but at the same time you can say something that can hurt somebody's feelings out there. But how do we differentiate these things? How do we manage to listen to, or read, or to take what we hear with empathy? It means we have to listen to the words behind the person who is saying it. We have to listen to the words behind the feelings or the emotions the person was actually throwing out there. And if we manage to hear the message, we read it first time, read it second time, and the third time when we really understand. Or if we don't understand, then we ask the person, especially if the person is still alive. The person is in a position of really explaining the things that, the reasons why they wrote what they wrote, the reasons why they published what they published, which is a very most crucial thing of communicating, because we are here as human beings to make mistakes, but at the same time we have to learn to communicate with each other. And whilst communicating with each other, it means we also have to learn to give up a part of us, which is pride, egos, and all sorts of excuses that, oh, I'm not supposed to be treated that way, or I'm better than others. We have to take ourselves in this to the same level where we know, okay, if one person can make mistake, it means I can also make mistakes. And when you manage to realize that you are also just a human being who can make mistakes, you are in a position of forgiving others. So there are so many aspects of life that we need to discuss about when we put our information out there. Not only information, but our writings, our stories, our articles, and if we are in a position of explaining them, because the people who responded meant meant the response from their heart, then it means they also deserve an explanation. So to bring back the relationship that we always had. I have learned something as well. Even if someone does you wrong, you be in a position of even going to that person and say to that person, look, what happened between us was not supposed to go that way. Even if you know you're not wrong, because you're also reminding the other person that even if they can't forgive, you are in a position of forgiving. You're forgiving not because you are wrong, you're forgiving because you're taking all these toxic feelings out of your system. And when you manage to bond again with these people, you can see that the people with the same behavior, they will still behave the same. But you have cleared your path, isn't it? By trying to engage again with them, which means it's power. And power is not about you being the boss. It means you are closer to nature. Closer to nature means you can forgive easier. You can take all your toxic feelings out of your system, which are the most important things in life at the moment, especially the era we are living today. Especially for me, when I'm putting things out there, publishing what I publish, mostly I publish that for my own children so they can learn in the future, because there are so many things that I know educational wise that they are missing out. There's so many things that I have missed out as a child, and I know that if I don't publish anything out there, my children will not know anything that I have experienced, that I have ever wanted to change in the past. So the things that I have ever wanted to see differently, those are the things that I try to publish so they can read later. I can't say, oh, lay back and wait until the news has come up with something, or until somebody comes up with something that tells me, oh, this is how you're supposed to be doing it. No, but if you know, and you know at least you are right about what you're saying, and you're confident about what you're talking about, it means you have to take it out your chest and say it for your children, for your children's sake, for the future's sake, for those children who are going to stay in the future and maybe manage to deal with their own children as well. Because one thing what we don't realize today, even if we want to see ourselves as the children of our parents who died now, maybe not yet dead, especially before your parents have died, you don't see things in the past as, oh, I'm also going to die at some point. And of course, you don't die. There is life after that, and life is eternal. So whatever you leave behind, make it something that is fruitful. And that's what I try to do. And it's not like I always do it correctly. I also make mistakes, which is very important to acknowledge and admit. Because if you manage to admit that you make mistakes, it means you are there. Thank you so much. Love.